It's time for a closer look. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest moments on Late Night with Seth Meyers. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're focusing on the moments from the late night talk show that made us laugh the hardest. Number 10. Press briefing. In today's political climate, the jokes pretty much write themselves, much to Late Night's advantage. Since the Trump administration took over, Late Night has hosted a series of White House press briefings so that Seth can ask all the questions he believes need to be answered.
Why do you think the country is so frustrated with the Trump presidency?
It's because it should have ended yesterday.
He struggles to keep a poker face during this recurring bit, and we can hardly blame him. Each question has a perfectly matching answer, and we can't help but laugh when he asks Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders to confirm her role among the White House staff.
Follow up, what's the biggest thing you have in common with your predecessor, Sean Spicer?
I hate to do this.
Number 9. Norman Reedus versus the zombie. When Seth sits down for a chat with the Walking Dead star Norman Reedus, one fan just can't resist the chance to talk to the actor.
Do they all have to be mouth-breathing, foot-dragging morons hell-bent on consuming human flesh?
That's zombies, man.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to watch the zombies fawning over the show quickly dissolve as he addresses its tendency to stereotype his kind. They manage to end their feud. But Reedus isn't quite as forgiving and soon gets bored with the zombie, leaving the audience in stitches. In another episode, disgruntled former planet Pluto hilariously confronts Neil deGrasse Tyson over its demotion.
I'm not gonna be pushed around like I'm some tiny little moon.
Well, actually, there are 6 moons bigger than you in our solar system.
Number 8. A closer look at Brexit. In 2016, Britain held a referendum to decide their future as members of the European Union. So Seth decided to take a closer look, or a keener glance, at how Brexit may have worldwide implications.
Now, just to give you an idea of how much of a jackass Boris Johnson is, here he is tackling a 10-year-old boy during a game of rugby in Japan.
There's a lot to cover with our friends across the pond, but the best moment is when he explains what it would mean for Britain to leave the EU by comparing it to Harry Styles leaving One Direction. Seth's explanation is so funny that even the British may be ready to reconsider their decision. Number 7. Trump wins election monologue. Like many talk show hosts, Seth brought some much-needed comic relief in the aftermath of the 2016 US elections.
But the good news is, based on this pattern of me being wrong on every one of my Donald Trump predictions, he's probably gonna be a great president.
There's a lot to get through, and he pretty much hits all the targets as he jokes about how wrong he's been throughout the campaigns, his NBC series offer to the president, and his melodramatic response to the win.
Last night, Frisbee was skittish because, being Italian, she doesn't know if she gets to stay.
Seth's tale about his skittish Italian greyhound is hilarious, while also hitting close to home for many Americans. Seth ends on a hopeful note and delivers congratulations where they're due.
And to Vladimir Putin and everyone in Russia, pozdravlenia.
Number 6. Paul Rudd wants to see Paul Rudd. We've already seen zombies and former planets disrupt the Late Show, but in this episode, the heckler looks a lot like Paul Rudd in a terrible disguise.
Hey, Seth, why don't you give these people what they want and bring out Paul Rudd, right, everyone?
Seth sees straight through the fake mustache and Paul Rudd Rocks t-shirt and calls the actor out, but Rudd, or Mal Blub, sticks to his guns nonetheless. It's incredibly funny to watch the back and forth between the pair, and we can't stop laughing when Rudd accidentally lets his real identity slip, but struggles to cover up his mistake.
I'll set up a clip from the movie and then I'll be on my merry way.
Wait. You'll set up a clip? You'll set up a clip?
No, I mean, he's gonna,
Number 5. Jokes Seth can't tell.
It's 2018, marijuana is finally allowed, and sexual harassment finally isn't.
This is one of Late Night's best recurring bits.
Did you hear about Willem Dafoe? Oh, God, no. He was nominated. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's so brilliant that Seth even used it when hosting the 2018 Golden Globes. The jokes are excellent, and Amber and Jenny's delivery is perfect. But the funniest moments are when Seth gets particularly uncomfortable and it's written all over his face.
I'm so glad I didn't tell that one.
After Jenny tells a joke about lesbian vampires, it takes Seth a long time to recover, and we can't stop laughing either.
Quit that jokes Jenny can't tell.
Once Seth manages to pull himself together, the women convince him to tell a joke, which backfires as always.
Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz are starring in an upcoming lesbian love drama. I should bring tissues, said a guy who had no intention of crying.
How dare you?
What? You told me it would be okay!
Number 4. Jennifer Lawrence's crush on Seth. During an interview, Jennifer Lawrence reveals that during her week at SNL, she developed a crush on Seth and hoped he would ask her out, unaware that he was already taken.
She was like, honey, he's engaged. I was like, cool, good talk.
J-Law is clearly embarrassed and struggles to look Seth in the eye. But ever the professional, Seth moves the conversation on and even uses it to segue into a question about her sex scene with Chris Pratt.
What do you think? Like, you know, are you gonna help me once?
However, it's Jen's ability to laugh at herself that makes this particular moment so entertaining to watch. And you just can't help but laugh off the awkwardness with her. Number 3. The women of late night respond to Harvey Weinstein. When Harvey Weinstein issued a statement over the allegations of sexual harassment, the women of late night had something to say about it.
I was disgusted and shocked that people were shocked.
Amber, Jenny, and Allie call out the so-called apology as just a list of excuses before turning the cameras to see how they and their female colleagues reacted when they first read it.
He compared himself to Jay-Z?
As each woman learns what Weinstein said, the reactions get more and more absurd to highlight the ridiculousness of his statement. And there are enough spit takes to flood 30 Rock.
He said that was the culture then.
Don't drink that. He said it was the culture back then.
Number 2. Really? Seth started out on SNL, and it's always exciting when the alumni reunite. It was particularly special to see Seth and his Weekend Update co-host Amy Poehler reboot their popular sketch, Really. Amy and Seth take down Sports Illustrated editor Andy Benoit, who tweeted that women's sports are not worth watching. They question Benoit's qualifications to pass judgment and compare women's sports to LeBron James.
We wear headbands. We love to travel.
While it's side-splittingly funny to watch, you would not want to find yourself on the receiving end of a really. Really.
Really? Wow.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
He is stink fighting right there, that twitch of the tail. He does want to stink fight you a little bit.
Here's another one. The retractable roof on Atlanta's NFL stadium is not working properly.
Oh, well, at least that ceiling's broken.
Perfect for the streets of New York and the subways of New York, for that matter. And if that's not enough, then pick up a pair of Bose sight-canceling glasses. So the next time someone says, hey, did you see that creep masturbating on the D train? You can say, nope.
Number 1. Seth brings Jon Snow to a dinner party. Seth decides to bring Jon Snow along to a dinner party, but his dark nature and morbid tales make him a bit of a misfit with the other guests.
Winter's over and we're headed into spring now.
Winter is coming.
There's nothing funnier than seeing this Game of Thrones character out of context, trying to grasp dinner party etiquette. At least this event is more successful than Seth's baby shower, where Melisandre just can't click with anyone else.
Dark and full of terrors, exactly. And also, it rattles. It's a rattle sword. Yes, rattling.
Snow ends up being a hit with the other guests, until a game of charades brings about his downfall.
Three-eyed raven. Incest.
Time. Oh, you know nothing, Jon Snow.
What was it then?
You got mail.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.